Welcome back for this part 2 of how to choose affordable art for your home and investments. In this video, we'll be going over how to frame and display your new pieces and collecting and investing. This video is a must for anyone looking for ways to make your art more visually appealing in your home and how to start an art collection that could become a valuable part of your future investments. I also have a free comprehensive guide to help you from start to finish. In part 1, we discussed how to choose your art, and I listed 10 tips on what you must know before choosing your art, which will also be in the free guide you can download right now in the link below. We also talked about where to purchase your art with online sources and local sources you can find in your area. So if you want to watch that video first, you can click on it here. If this is your first time here on my channel, I just want to take a second to thank you for stopping by and checking out this video. Hit that notification and like button for more design videos. And if you've watched any of my other videos, go ahead and like and subscribe. Now let's talk about frames. Framing art largely depends on the form. If you have prints, whether mass-produced or limited editions, they usually require matting and some sort of protection like a clear acrylic cover or UV glass. Framing can also get very expensive, especially once you start choosing real wood and finishes, matting, and the UV glass. You can save money by bargain hunting online, thrifting your frames, or repurposing any current artwork that you already have, like I'm doing. Now, thrifted is different from vintage. Thrifted can be any frames from any period at any original price point. A vintage frame is a frame considered to be 20 years old and beyond, which would be 2006 at this time. If a frame was made before 1926, it is considered an antique, and it will be pretty pricey unless you have really good luck at a garage sale or something like that. Now, how should you decide if you use a new or vintage frame for your art piece? That will depend mostly on the subject matter and the style of the room, and if you're creating a particular type of style. Say like the subject matter that I mentioned for horses in part 1 of this art series. Personal preference does matter some, but if it's a piece with value, the art itself is probably going to determine whether it will be framed for preservation and how. So I have some examples of what a vintage frame would look like. Think a library look, obviously antique, maybe something that has a historic subject matter, like old ancestors and figures or old masters paintings, but some contemporary pieces can look very striking in a vintage frame. These are often accompanied by art lighting, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then if you want to use a new frame, usually those will be found on contemporary or graphic images. So think about something that's sleek, black or white, gold or silver frames, maybe bronze, and then maybe something with a glass or plexiglass covering. So here are some best practices to consider when you are framing your art. Choose acid-free mats and backing materials to prevent discoloration and damage over time. Use UV protection glass or acrylic to reduce fading caused by sunlight exposure. Select a frame style that complements the artwork without overpowering it. Ensure proper spacing between the artwork and glazing to avoid moisture buildup and sticking. Avoid hanging framed art in direct sunlight, humid areas, or near heat sources. Use secure hanging hardware appropriate for the artwork's size and weight. Consider professional framing for valuable or delicate pieces to ensure long-term preservation. And then regularly inspect your frames for dust, moisture, or signs of wear to maintain the artwork's condition. You can also find these best practices in my guide. Now, there's many places where you can get your art pieces framed, locally or even online. There's a lot more places online you can get them framed. Obviously Amazon, but you're not going to have as much choice as far as designing your art piece. But there are framing shops and framing options online where you can play around with different types of frames, different mediums, whether you want glass, matting, the whole bit. There's custom framing options at stores like Michael's Arts Craft Store, where you can either go in or do it online. And there's always going to be somebody there to help you make your choices for your frames, your mats, your colors, and all of that. And of course, you're bringing in the artwork and they can look at it and you can see all your choices right there. So I just mentioned Michael's. You can also go to pictureframes.com and you can see all the choices there. There's also Art to Frame. There's Frame Store and Etsy, of course, or Etsy is always a great example. They may not have as many choices on Etsy as you would these other online stores, but you do have a choice of more vintage and unique frames from Etsy. Now, my local framing shops, I'll share with you here in LA, which I've been to these stores and gotten things framed, and I'm really happy with what I got. So I have been to Michael's. There's another art store called Blick Arts, and Frame Store, which I also mentioned, but I can actually go into a frame store here. There's another one called Alan Jeffries Framing. They do excellent work. They even help with framing more expensive pieces, something that you would want that means a lot to you, whether it doesn't have a monetary value, but if you want to do 3D framing or something like that, they will help you frame those types of sentimental pieces, as well as a place called LA Art Exchange Fine Art, which means they are framing fine art that are going to be in your collection. Art collectors, maybe gallery people, these are the types of art that they will be dealing with. So it would also be nice to find somebody locally, if you're going to start an art collection, that they are used to dealing with art that is very special to you and it's part of your art collection for your investments. Canvas gives art a look of authenticity and originality, and in turn, it elevates the entire room. One large piece can make a statement, and it can be a one and done option, while smaller ones can be grouped together or can be used as a utilitarian piece to cover an eyesore on the wall, as you see me doing here with this very old and ancient heat element on the wall. Canvases can also look good mixed with other styles of art on a gallery wall of framed art or other objects. Usually, the canvases or other material is framed with a thin wood or metal frame, as not to take away from the original piece. A canvas can be framed or left alone, but keep in mind, the deeper the piece, the higher the cost it will be to frame it. When we think of an original art on canvas, we think of an artist who has conceived an idea, then painted it on canvas, and then it would be the only one that would exist. So therefore, a canvas originally painted would be more valuable than a print or picture, anything like that. With the original, you can see the texture of the paint, you see the nuances of the colors, and you get the original signature of the artist. And all of these things combined together increase the value of the piece of art. And it's very hard to duplicate this, even when you get a really good print made, or even if you try to copy certain types on another canvas. So this can include works on metal, wood, or other materials. We now have many options online where you can get an image digitally printed on canvas. And I went over this briefly in part 1. And in some instances, you can add texture. And you can order a piece of art that may have been painted 100 times before, but it will be an original per se, and you will be able to, get all of those same qualities that you would have with an original canvas painted by a local artist or something from a gallery. And any of those online sites that I mentioned in part 1 will probably have a print on demand. Well, I don't know about print on demand, but they will have a print on canvas option, and they will be listed in the resource section in the guide as well. When displaying your art, there are so many ways you can hang it and install it. Usually we grab a nail. It's our first instinct to just hammer a nail in the wall and hang it up. But then you have to deal with unwanted holes when you want to move it, and then you have to patch and repainting. Although I still like to use nails, but I'd like to get into some other options we can use besides that. So when thinking about installing your art, you think about how many pieces. Is it going to be one piece or multiple pieces? You're thinking about what size it is, how heavy the piece is, and that usually is going to determine what or how you're going to use to put up there. So we've already talked about nails. So we also have command strips. There's some command strips that you can use that have hooks on them that will take more weight, but they're usually for art pieces that are lightweight, something that's an 8x10 or maybe slightly bigger, but that's about it. Drywall hooks, those are great for heavier pieces. You do have to poke a little hole in the wall, but they will do the job. Then you have plate hangers, that's self-explanatory, that come in all different sizes. You can use a picture hanging kit. Sometimes you may need this to repair hardware on the back of your art piece that needs to be more secure, or it doesn't have one at all. Then there's like a porch swing or a latch that will hold more heavy pieces of art, like a heavy-duty cable with my or something like that. It's using a carabiner hook. And then a loop that has been put into the ceiling, and it can carry a lot of weight. This is, we're talking like 30 pounds, probably up to 100 pounds. So, like I said before, the back of the frame will probably show you how to hang it and what else you may need. Or you can, if it doesn't, then you can choose these other ways of hanging it. Again, just remember to keep in mind the size and weight, to make sure that they're just going to stay secure on the wall, especially if it's going to be installed over some kind of seating area or your bed. We've figured out how we're going to install our pieces. We've got the hardware on the back, or how we're going to hang it. Now we need to think about placement and where exactly is this art going to go. And this is very important because we want to get it right the first time. A lot of people have a good idea of where they want to put it, whether it's over the couch, over the bed, by the staircase. But some people are not as confident as to what configuration they're going to do beyond that one piece or maybe two pieces. So I'm going to show you several options to consider, whether hanging just that one piece or an entire collection. So when it comes to gallery walls, almost anything goes in any space. Will the collection look the same? Is the collection going to have the same frames? Is it all going to be the same subject matter? Are you going to mix frames? Are you mixing styles? Say like a black and white portrait that's maybe framed with a black frame and a white matte. Are we mixing that with an old vintage wooden frame or gold frames? Are they all going to have mattes? What kind of cohesiveness are we going to use to make sure that this gallery wall is visually appealing and eye-catching? So you have to think to yourself, what does this art have in common with each other? And that's what's going to really bring that gallery wall together. So what I would do is think about, one, the subject matter, and if it's not the same subject matter, maybe the framing is what's pulling everything together. Maybe the color is pulling everything together. Subject matters are different, but everything is blue or red or what have you. And so think about what is making all of these pieces a cohesive mix. And then the next thing I would do is lay out your art on the floor near the wall area so that you can see how things look together, mixing it up in a way that's going to make each piece be enhanced and complemented by what's directly next to it. Now, I'm sure you've seen these templates on how to put your wall up to make a gallery wall, or put your art up to make a gallery wall. And it would suggest, like I said, laying your art out, and then you would cut out these pieces of paper, craft paper or newspaper, and then you would then put that onto the wall to make sure that you have the correct placement. And that will definitely work. I have done that before. I usually wing it because I've put art up so many times and I can really visually see how things are going to look, so I don't have to be so precise. But if it's your first time doing it, I would definitely do it this way and try to have some kind of plan so that you're not going to mess up, or it's less likely that you'll mess it up. But keep moving the pieces around until you get a nice balance of color and form. Now the next thing is with the visual is the view of the art. Think about when you walk into the room, do you want that art to be the first thing that you see? Do you want it to be kind of an afterthought? Is it just there to help match the decor? Where are we placing it within the room and the space? So there are rules as to how high you should put things above a couch or above a bed or on the wall somewhere. Usually it's eye level, or there is a formula that you can use as well. But for me, I don't stick to this that much. I feel like everybody is at different heights. So what is okay for somebody who is 5'10" is not going to be the same for somebody who is 5'3". So keep in mind, and your furniture is different. So keep in mind your furniture, your particular height, the space itself. And I think sometimes, things can be too high, but other than that, I think you'll be okay. So here's some other options to consider. You can do a picture rail, which you can do kind of an old-fashioned way of doing it, where they used to use architectural molding. This used to be in all the homes, where they would have this long strip of molding at the top of the walls, and then they would just use a hook at the top and with a chain, and then you can just hang the art on the chain, and you can move it anywhere you want along the wall, and there are no nails involved. And that kind of went out of fashion, and now it's coming back into fashion. You can also use picture rails where you can actually put up a metal bar, which basically looks like a curtain rod, but like smaller. And you can use that as a picture rail. Then you can add the chain and hooks, and then move that around as you please. And the picture rails are a great idea because then you can change your artwork out at will. You can just move it around and do whatever you like, and you haven't put one nail in the wall other than putting up your picture rail. Then you have bookshelves. Bookshelves are always enhanced by not having just books, but adding, small pieces of art or family photos or something like that in beautiful frames. You can also lay your art against the wall within the bookshelf, and you can also do this on the floor or on top of furniture. So without having to install it at all, we're just going to find a spot where we can just lay the art right up against the wall. You can even layer multiple pieces on top of each other. You can also do this with a gallery shelf or any kind of shelf, and that way you can also interchange your artwork out at will. Also, you can use tape or string to hang art rather than just hanging it with the hardware right on back of the art. You can add beautiful ribbon, tape if it's just going to be a print or something, or string, and you can be really creative with this. You can have a unique piece of furniture or room divider that you could put art on. Also think about adding in plates or other objects intertwined into your art, or just use those objects and plates as your art. You can also use acrylic boxes if you're doing something that's 3D. So acrylic boxes, maybe just using the open frame itself instead of actually framing it with a mat and a backing, just putting the frame on the wall and then placing something inside of it. I've also seen clear jars where you can just put a photo in the jar and place that on a shelf, and then maybe some kind of frame boxes. So there's so many creative things you can do to make your art visually appealing other than just putting it in a frame and hanging it on a wall. You can't really appreciate the art if you can't see it properly. This is where adding lighting specifically for the art can help. Don't rely on ceiling recess lights to highlight your art. If you do want to take advantage of one, put it directly under it, but also add picture lights to add warm light and ambience. These are a few examples here. I have links for these in the description box below. Continue to layer your lighting around the art with table lamps and or floor lighting. Tapestries, both vintage and contemporary, add warmth, texture, and artistic character to a home while serving as striking decorative focal points. They can also be used in living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, hallways, or even home offices to soften walls, introduce color, and create a cozy atmosphere. Vintage tapestries often bring historical charm and craftsmanship, while modern designs can complement minimalist or contemporary interiors. To care for tapestries, you want to keep them away from direct sunlight and excessive humidity to prevent fading and fabric damage. Regular gentle dusting or vacuuming with a soft brush attachment helps maintain their condition, and delicate or antique pieces should be professionally cleaned and properly supported when hung. Quilts are also viewed as art when hung on a wall. Why would you hang a quilt? You may have a family heirloom quilt but didn't want to use it, on any of your beds if it didn't fit your bedding colors or style, but you want to put it in a pride of place so that you can enjoy it every day. Hanging the quilt is going to give it more reverence instead of keeping it in a chest or a closet. There are special quilt hangers that can hold light to heavy quilts. You can also use a tapestry hanger, which is usually just a bar or something with clips, but it will usually hold a lighter quilt. And then there are the wide wooden holders that will hold a heavier quilt. Now, quilts can also become part of an art collection and can go up in value that could be worth thousands of dollars, like these Benz quilts from the American South out of Wilcox County in Alabama. This one from Essie Bendolph Petaway, titled My Way 2000, sold for a nice little price of $20,000. I love the color and the graphic nature of these quilts. They look like contemporary paintings to me. Their works have often been compared to the masterpieces of modern artists like Paul Klee and Piet Mondrian. My mom was a quilter, and I can really relate to this artistry. Here are a couple of books on Benz quilts, which have become world-renowned for their craftsmanship. I've also seen rugs used in tapestries as well. YouTuber Lone Fox used this decor trick in his Spanish-style California home. I did an entire video on Lone Fox highlighting his style in store here in LA in this video, so go check it out. Also in this category are all types of wall hangings like macrame and mixed media. And so also take the same care you would with these as you would the tapestries. Murals are a creative and dramatic way to transform a home by adding personality, depth, and artistic expression in any space. Whether hand-painted directly onto walls or installed as a large-scale wallpaper designs, murals can serve as stunning focal points in any room, especially nurseries or an entryway. Hand-painted murals offer a one-of-a-kind custom look with rich texture and artistic detail, while mural wallpaper provides flexibility, affordability, and a wide variety of styles. Now, I myself, long time ago, I painted a beautiful sky with clouds mural in a baby's room, and something like that can really just transform a nursery. No matter what gender, it's something that can grow along with the kid. Don't be afraid to put art directly on top of a mural or a focused wallpaper wall or a feature wall with wallpaper. Most people will just think it's going to hide the mural and you want to see every inch of it, but there have been many instances where you have these beautiful landscaped murals on the wall, and putting very selected artwork on top can just enhance it rather than take away. Here is a quick note about family photos and kids' artwork. So although family photos aren't technically artwork, but they do provide the same visual curiosity for anyone coming into your home if they're displayed in a room. So be equally as intentional as to how they are framed and where you're placing them in your home. Children's artwork is artwork, and they're also visual reminders of your children growing up. You're emotionally attached to them, and as such, the artwork, if it's framed, it should be viewed revered as something really important, not only to you, but to the child as well. And they love seeing their art displayed, and they feel like they are real artists. So instead of just posting it on the fridge, pick a few that connects with everybody, that everybody loves, frame it, and figure out a way to display it. There are some really cool ways now that you can display kids' art and interchange it out without having to just pick one piece to look at forever and spending a lot of money on the framing and all of that. So because we know as kids grow older, they're going to create many more pieces of art. So I think this is a really great idea for kids, and then they can pick and choose when they want to pull or put art in it and take it out. And it's part of the children's artistic expression. Also, don't be shy in trying your own hand at creating your own art. Join an art class or just have fun going to your nearest arts or craft store and get some supplies and just start doing something and be creative. Don't think about it too much. Don't be too serious about it. Just paint or draw whatever you feel that you want. And other than just creating something personal for your home, you're exploring your creativity, which always enriches one's life. Is art a good investment? We're going to explore the financial side of collecting. Whether you're a first-time buyer or an art enthusiast curious about value appreciation, we'll look at what makes an art an attractive and sometimes risky investment. You'll discover the factors that influence price, potential rewards, and the realities every investor should consider. While some artworks can increase significantly in value over time, the art market is often unpredictable and influenced by trends, artist reputation, rarity of the piece, and buyer demand. Like any investment, art requires research, patience, and a willingness to accept uncertainty. But for many collectors, the combination of cultural enjoyment and financial potential makes it a uniquely rewarding asset. The financial appeal of art collecting lies in its unique combination of cultural value and investment potential. Unlike stocks or digital assets, art is a tangible investment that can diversify a portfolio while also offering personal enjoyment and prestige. Over time, the global art market has shown steady growth, with certain works appreciating significantly in value due to rarity, art recognition, and collector demand. History is filled with success stories of artworks purchased by relatively unknown artists that later sold for millions at auction, proving that informed collecting can yield substantial returns. However, while these opportunities are exciting, the art market remains unpredictable, making research and long-term perspective essential for investors and budding collectors. Now, while art can be a rewarding investment, collectors must also understand the risks and realities of the market. Art pieces can fluctuate due to changing economic conditions, buyer demand, and cultural trends, making the market highly volatile and sometimes difficult to predict. Unlike stocks, art is relatively liquid, meaning it can take time to buy a buyer willing to pay the desired price. Factors such as condition, the provenance, the authenticity play a major role in determining the value, as damaged works or pieces with uncertain ownership history can lose credibility and worth. In addition, trends and speculation often drive sudden increases in popularity, but these shifts can be temporary, making careful research and expert guidance essential for long-term success. So when starting out, try to buy what you love as not to be so attached to its financial asset. For first-time investment collectors, a thoughtful and strategic approach can help reduce risk while building confidence in the art market. Many experts recommend starting small and building gradually, allowing collectors to learn about pricing, artists, market behavior over time. Diversifying within the art world, such as exploring different medium styles or emerging an established artist, can also help balance potential risk and rewards. While it's important to follow your personal taste and passion, successful investing also requires careful research into artists' reputation, sales history, and market demand. Today, a variety of online tools, auction databases, and digital platforms can help collectors track trends and make informed decisions. Working with experienced advisors or art consultants can provide valuable guidance, especially when evaluating authenticity, provenance, and long-term investment potential. If you're interested in a piece of art, it's important to ask about its provenance. It's the documented history of ownership and custody of the artwork. Provenance helps establish authenticity, legal ownership, and value. The provenance can be found on a certificate directly behind the artwork or information provided from a gallery or art consultant. If it's new, you would then start a new provenance record for the person who will then purchase it from you when you get ready to sell. There are some great websites that can help and assist you in building and recording your art collection's provenance. One of them is called Artwork Archive, and the other is called Fine Art Ledger. They work with not only budding collectors, but also large organizations that have global collections. So they'll be able to help you with any questions that you may have in starting your art collection and in getting your provenance recorded with them. Now that you've done your research on the art and the artist and validated its provenance, it's time to buy some insurance. You can purchase art insurance from specialty art insurers, major insurance companies that offer valuable items coverage, or through brokers focused specifically on fine art and collectibles. I've listed a couple of these insurance providers here. Art insurance may be purchased as a standalone policy or added as a rider to an existing homeowner's or renter's insurance policy. When comparing options, review coverage, limits, appraisal requirements, deductibles, and whether the policy covers transit, exhibitions, restoration cost, and worldwide protection. Buying art from galleries works best when you treat it as a relationship-based process rather than a quick transaction. When you visit a gallery, take time to look around without pressure and observe what styles or artists consistently draw your attention. It's normal and expected to ask questions about the artist, the pricing, edition sizes, the provenance. The gallery staff are there to provide context and help you understand the work. If a piece interests you, you can also ask about payment plans, availability of similar works, or whether the artist is represented exclusively. When you're ready to buy, be clear about your budget and don't be afraid to negotiate politely, especially for emerging artists or multiple purchases. Galleries often value repeat collectors, so building a rapport that can lead to early access to new works or invitations to previews. Always request documentation as a certificate of authenticity, the provenance, and care of instructions. Finally, take your time. Good collecting decisions are rarely rushed, and reputable galleries respect thoughtful buyers who are building their collection intentionally. Galleries are such a great resource for just looking at and learning about art, even if you have no intention on buying that day, or, maybe you're just going to buy somewhere down the line. You can also get valuable resources and information from the gallery owners and the staff. They can inform you of all the artists in the gallery, the mediums they use for their artworks, market opportunities, and new and up-and-coming artists. So what is the difference between an art advisor, a gallery owner, or an art dealer? An art advisor will help their clients navigate an entire world of art by providing art acquisition, collection management, and investment advice. They will help you purchase the type of art you lean toward by doing the initial research and strategic advice for the investment. An art dealer will represent either the artist or the galleries. And then, of course, the gallery owner is just responsible for the art purchased and sold within their gallery. A gallery owner will probably have a lot of this same information that maybe an art advisor, an art consultant, or an art dealer would also have. So they are a very good source of information, but they probably would not be able to provide you with the specific skills that the advisor, the consultant, or the art dealer has. Buying at art auctions, whether in person or online, can be exciting and fast-paced, offering the thrill of competition bidding and the chance to acquire unique works. But it also carries risks such as emotional overbidding, limited time for inspection, buyer's premiums, and uncertainties around condition, provenance, and final value. I provided some online resources for art auctions in my part 1 of this art series, but you can also ask an art consultant or a gallery owner or these other art experts as to what kind of auctions you should attend, and just to get the lay of the land of what kind of auctions you'd like to purchase art at. No matter where you buy your art or how you're buying your art, it's always a great idea to increase your knowledge about art. And books, of course, are a fantastic way of doing that. I have listed a really good list of books that you can check out from artists that I have featured on this art series. And what they do is you can read about an artist themselves, you can read about their life and their inspiration for their art, and of course you can also learn about different art mediums and how those mediums are used. So read as much as you can about a certain artist or period or medium that inspires you as well. And learning about any subject matter, of course, is going to be ongoing, especially if you're going to have plans to start an art collection. And you'll also want to learn a lot of art terms that you'll be hearing over and over again when you are talking to gallery owners, art consultants, and dealers. And that way you have a better understanding of not only the art itself, but the art world. Okay, so here's a quick note about NFTs. I don't totally understand NFTs like a lot of other people do or don't. But to explain them in a nutshell, they are non-fungible tokens and are digital assets stored on a blockchain that verify ownership and authenticity of unique items such as digital artwork, music, videos, and collectibles. So when somebody purchases an NFT, they receive a blockchain-backed certificate that provides that they own the original digital piece, even though copies of the image or file may still exist online. So you're wondering, how can somebody own a digital something if everybody can make copies of it online? I don't know either. But this is what it is. Okay, so for new collectors and investors for NFTs, they offer a modern way to buy and sell and trade art in a global digital marketplace. And that's going to be without relying on traditional galleries and auction houses. So therein lies a certain risk as well. It's a new frontier of art. So, just be careful. The future potential of NFTs lies in expanding digital ownership, creator royalties, virtual worlds, and online communities where artists can continue earning from resales through smart contracts. However, the NFT market remains highly speculative and volatile, so investors really should approach it carefully, research your projects thoroughly, and focus on long-term value rather than short-term hype. And I would say that is great advice. Okay, so now that we've purchased our art, we have our provenance, we put it up on the wall where we want, let's make sure that we care for it properly, because the proper care will help preserve the beauty and the value of your art for years to come. Store artwork in a clean, dry environment away from direct sunlight, extreme temperatures, high humidity, which can cause fading, warping, or mold growth. Now, if you have a lot of sunlight coming into your home or your apartment, sometimes you may not be able to get away with not putting it in direct sunlight. So I would just think carefully about your placement of where something's going to go. And if it is in a place where it's in direct sunlight, just think about how the best that you can protect it, especially if it's something that's going to be on the expensive side for you. When framing, use archival quality materials such as acid-free mats and UV protective glass or acrylic to shield the piece from environmental damage. So that may help if you can't avoid to put your art, from direct sunlight. The framing specialist will help advise you of, what you can do. If you want to tell them where you're putting it in your home before you get it framed, that would be a good idea as well. It also pertains to even, something that's a bargain piece, because that might also be damaged by the sun, even though it's vintage or you thrifted it. It's just always best to go towards being conservative and protective. And just overall, be careful when handling your artwork, with bare hands. Make sure there's not a lot of oil and grease that is going to be put directly on your art. Obviously, it's advisable to use gloves, but most people probably will not. So just be careful as to how you're touching your piece. And just, look from time to time if there are signs of deterioration and when you may need to consult a professional to decide whether it needs to be repaired. Supporting local artists is an easy one. Find artists you like through local galleries or exhibitions and purchase their art. Gather as much information as you can about the artist, their life story, what inspires them, and all of this information adds to the provenance of the art piece. If you haven't already, you can support local artists in your area and anywhere online when possible. Even the support of liking an art piece, subscribing, sharing, and following on social media really helps an artist get noticed, and that in turn they can sell their artwork. If you haven't watched part 1 of this art series, you can click on it right here. Also, don't forget to download the art guide that I put together with all the resources from part 1 and part 2. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.